Have you ever felt like someone's words or actions completely ruined your day? Maybe it was a rude comment, a thoughtless gesture, or even just an unexpected inconvenience. Frustrating, isn't it? But here's the truth. No one has the power to control your emotions unless you let them. What if you could stay calm and unshaken, no matter what life or anyone else throws your way? Imagine walking through your day with a sense of peace so strong that even the most irritating situations couldn't shake you. That's not just wishful thinking, it's emotional mastery. In this episode, we're diving into 10 powerful lessons that will help you stop reacting impulsively, let go of anger, and take back control of your emotions. These lessons aren't about ignoring your feelings or pretending not to care. They're about building the mental strength to navigate life's challenges with clarity and grace. Whether it's handling criticism, setting boundaries, or learning to let go of grudges, you'll discover practical tools to protect your peace and live with confidence. By the end of this episode, you'll have the mindset and strategies to stay unbothered, even in the most challenging situations. So if you're ready to unlock the secret to emotional freedom and live a life where no one else can dictate your mood, let's get started. Story 1. Focus on what you can control. In a small village, there was a farmer named John who tended his wheat fields with utmost dedication, hoping for a bountiful harvest. However, one year, a prolonged drought caused his crops to wither. John felt despair as he watched his hard work threatened. What would you do when faced with natural disasters beyond your control? Refusing to accept defeat, John decided to dig a well to find groundwater. He worked tirelessly day and night, hoping to save his crops. But after weeks of effort, the well remained dry. Fatigue and disappointment began to overwhelm him. Would you continue when all efforts seem futile? One morning, as the sun was just rising, John heard cries for help from his neighbor's house. Old Mr. Peter had fallen and couldn't get up. John rushed over to assist and took him to the medical station. On the way back, Peter said, "Thank you, son. Sometimes we can't control everything, but we can control how we respond." Have you ever realized valuable lessons from unexpected situations? Peter's words made John ponder. He realized that while he couldn't control the weather, he could control how he faced it. Instead of continuing to dig the well, John decided to plant drought-resistant crops and learn more efficient water usage techniques. His fields gradually recovered, and he became a symbol of perseverance and adaptability in the community. Can you turn challenges into opportunities like John did? John's story reminds us that in life, many things are beyond our control. Instead of worrying about them, we should focus on what we can control: our attitude, reactions, and actions. This is the key to overcoming challenges and achieving success. How will you apply this lesson in your daily life? Story 2. Accepting what you cannot change. In a small village, there was a young artist named Maria. She was renowned for her vibrant and emotive paintings, capturing the beauty of nature and life around her. Maria always sought perfection in her work, refusing to accept any flaws. Have you ever felt frustrated when things didn't go as planned? One day, Maria received an invitation to participate in an international art exhibition, a significant opportunity to showcase her talent and expand her influence. She spent months preparing, meticulously attending to every detail of her collection. However, just days before the exhibition, a severe storm struck, causing floods that damaged many of her artworks. How would you react if your hard work was destroyed by uncontrollable factors? Maria felt despair and anger. She couldn't accept that the pieces she had poured her heart into were ruined so senselessly. She contemplated withdrawing from the exhibition, feeling her efforts had been in vain. Have you ever wanted to give up when faced with adversity? In her sorrow, Maria recalled her former mentor's advice. Life is like a painting. It's not always perfect, but it's the imperfections that make it unique. She began to think about how to incorporate the damage into her work, creating a new style that reflected resilience and adaptability. Can you find opportunity in challenges? Maria decided not to give up. She used the water stains and damages as part of her new creations, reflecting destruction and rebirth. At the exhibition, her collection garnered special attention, receiving praise for its creativity and depth. Can you turn adversity into an opportunity to shine? Maria's story reminds us that there are things in life we cannot control. Instead of resisting them, we should learn to accept and transform them into opportunities for growth. Our attitude and response to adversity shape the path we take. How will you apply this lesson in your own life? Story 3. Recognizing that emotions are our reactions. In a bustling metropolis, there was a young entrepreneur named Alex, renowned for his decisiveness and leadership skills. He prided himself on his ability to control his emotions, believing this trait enabled him to make sound business decisions. Have you ever felt proud of your ability to manage your emotions? One day, Alex received devastating news. A critical project that he and his team had been working on for months was rejected by the client. Overwhelmed by disappointment and anger, he began blaming his team, accusing them of lacking effort and failing to meet standards. How would you react if your hard work went unrecognized? Amidst the tension, an older colleague, John, approached Alex and said, "Alex, I understand your feelings, but remember, we cannot control others' reactions. We can only control our own." Have you ever received valuable advice during challenging times? John's words prompted Alex to reflect. He realized that his negative emotions stemmed not from the project's rejection, but from his reaction to the situation. Determined to shift his perspective, he chose to view the setback as an opportunity to learn and improve. Can you transform failure into a learning opportunity? Alex convened his team not to cast blame, but to collaboratively analyze the reasons for their failure and devise solutions. He encouraged open dialogue, inviting everyone to share insights and suggestions for improvement. This approach not only identified areas needing enhancement, but also fostered unity and strengthened the team's resolve. Can you turn challenges into opportunities for cohesion and growth? Alex's story reminds us that emotions are not caused by external events, but by our reactions to them. By altering our perceptions and responses, we can transform challenging situations into opportunities for personal and collective growth. How will you apply this lesson in your own life? Story 4. Reminding oneself that we don't know everything. In a small village by the river, there was a carpenter named John. John was renowned throughout the region for his skilled craftsmanship and confidence in his abilities. He often took on challenging projects that few dared to undertake. One day, a wealthy merchant named Mr. Smith approached John with a proposal to build a wooden bridge across the river to facilitate the transportation of goods. John had never built a bridge before, but with his inherent confidence, he accepted the project without hesitation. As he embarked on the project, John encountered numerous challenges he had never faced: the swift-flowing river, complex terrain, and his lack of knowledge in bridge construction techniques. Nevertheless, he remained determined, believing that his experience and skills were sufficient to overcome any obstacles. First tense situation. After several weeks of work, when the bridge was nearing completion, a prolonged heavy rain caused the river's water level to rise and the current to become more turbulent. John noticed the bridge's structure starting to sway, posing a risk of collapse. He faced a choice: continue working with high risk or pause to find a safer solution. What would you do in John's situation? Continue with the risk of failure or pause to reassess the plan? Second tense situation. Deciding to proceed, John mobilized additional manpower and worked tirelessly day and night to reinforce the bridge. However, late one night, a section of the bridge unexpectedly collapsed, nearly causing an accident for a worker. This incident demoralized the team and shook their confidence in John's leadership. If you were John, how would you restore the team's morale and ensure everyone's safety? Third tense situation. Realizing the severity of the problem, John sought advice from an experienced civil engineer named Michael. Initially, Michael was skeptical about John's capabilities and the project's feasibility. However, after reviewing the situation, he agreed to assist on the condition that John accept changes to the design and construction methods. Are you willing to accept help and alter your original plan? Conclusion of the story. With Michael's guidance, John and his team revised the design, applied new techniques, and successfully completed the bridge safely and securely. The project's success not only benefited Mr. Smith, but also the entire village. John realized that confidence is essential, but acknowledging one's limitations and seeking help when necessary is even more crucial. Lesson learned. John's story reminds us that no one knows everything. Acknowledging our limitations and being willing to learn from others not only helps us grow, but also ensures success and safety in the projects we undertake. Story 5. Practicing gratitude to dissipate anger. In a small town, there was a man named David, known for his quick temper and tendency to anger easily. His strong reactions to unfavorable situations often strained his relationships with family, friends, and colleagues. One day, David attended a seminar on Stoicism, where he was introduced to the power of gratitude in managing emotions. The speaker shared, "You cannot be both grateful and angry at the same time. Gratitude helps you shift your perspective and find peace, even in challenging moments." This statement resonated with David, prompting him to give it a try. He began by writing down 3 things he was grateful for each day, no matter how small. Initially, this practice was challenging, but gradually, he noticed a positive shift in his mood. First tense situation. One morning, on his way to work, David's car broke down in the middle of the road. Instead of reacting with anger as usual, he paused and thought, "At least I'm safe and I have time to reflect." This mindset helped him stay calm and address the problem effectively. How would you react in a similar situation? Could you find something positive in a difficult circumstance? Second tense situation. At work, David received negative feedback from his boss regarding a project he was handling. Rather than taking it as a personal attack, he asked himself, "What can I learn from this criticism?" He reviewed his work, made improvements, and subsequently received recognition from his colleagues. Are you willing to accept criticism and view it as an opportunity for growth. Third tense situation. One evening, David had a significant argument with his wife. Before reacting, he recalled the lesson on gratitude and reflected on the good things his wife had done for him. This contemplation helped him calm down and resolve the conflict amicably. In relationships, do you often remember the positive contributions of the other person? Conclusion of the story. By practicing gratitude, David gradually gained control over his anger and improved his relationships. He realized that focusing on the good aspects made life more manageable and happier. Lesson learned. David's story demonstrates that gratitude is a powerful tool for controlling emotions and finding peace in life. When faced with difficulties, instead of succumbing to anger, seeking aspects to be grateful for can make challenges more manageable. Story 6. Embracing impermanence to alleviate anxiety. In a small village, there lived a woman named Emily, who was constantly anxious about the future and uncertainties. She often lost sleep over thoughts of potential negative events, leading to a stressful and exhausting life. First tense situation. One day, Emily heard rumors that the company she worked for might downsize. She panicked, envisioning scenarios of unemployment and financial instability. These thoughts hindered her focus at work, decreasing her performance and increasing her anxiety. How would you react in a similar situation? Does worrying about events that haven't occurred help you in any way? Second tense situation. Emily had a close friend named Sarah, who always remained optimistic and calm amidst life's challenges. Once, when Emily shared her fears about the future, Sarah smiled and said, "Life is ever-changing. No one knows what will happen next. Instead of worrying, why don't we focus on what we can control and enjoy the present?" Have you ever considered that accepting life's impermanence might help reduce anxiety? Third tense situation. One evening, Emily came across a quote from Stoic philosopher Epictetus. "We cannot control events, but we can control our reactions to those events." This prompted her to reflect and realize that worrying about things beyond her control only added to her stress. How can you apply this philosophy to your life to alleviate anxiety? Conclusion of the story. Emily decided to change her perspective on life. She began practicing acceptance of impermanence, focusing on the present and what she could control. As a result, she felt more at ease, reduced her anxiety, and enjoyed life more fully. Lesson learned. Emily's story reminds us that life is full of uncertainties. Instead of worrying about things beyond our control, we should accept impermanence and focus on the present. This approach not only reduces anxiety, but also brings peace and happiness into our lives. Story 7. Embracing impermanence to alleviate anxiety. In a small town, there lived a woman named Emily, who was always anxious about the future and uncertainties. She often lost sleep over thoughts of potential negative events, leading to a stressful and exhausting life. First tense situation. One day, Emily heard rumors that her company might downsize. She panicked, envisioning scenarios of unemployment and financial instability. These thoughts hindered her focus at work, decreasing her performance and increasing her anxiety. How would you react in a similar situation? Does worrying about events that haven't occurred help you in any way? Second tense situation. Emily had a close friend named Sarah, who always remained optimistic and calm amidst life's challenges. Once, when Emily shared her fears about the future, Sarah smiled and said, "Life is ever-changing. No one knows what will happen next." Instead of worrying, why don't we focus on what we can control and enjoy the present? Have you ever considered that accepting life's impermanence might help reduce anxiety? Third tense situation. One evening, Emily came across a quote from Stoic philosopher Epictetus. "We cannot control events, but we can control our reactions to those events." This prompted her to reflect and realize that worrying about things beyond her control only added to her stress. How can you apply this philosophy to your life to alleviate anxiety? Conclusion of the story. Emily decided to change her perspective on life. She began practicing acceptance of impermanence, focusing on the present and what she could control. As a result, she felt more at ease, reduced her anxiety, and enjoyed life more fully. Lesson learned. Emily's story reminds us that life is full of uncertainties. Instead of worrying about things beyond our control, we should accept impermanence and focus on the present. This approach not only reduces anxiety, but also brings peace and happiness into our lives. Story 8. Cultivating gratitude to dissipate anger. In a bustling city, there lived a man named John, who often found himself overwhelmed by anger due to the stresses of daily life. His frequent bouts of anger affected his relationships and overall well-being. First tense situation. One morning, John was rushing to work when he spilled coffee on his shirt. Frustrated, he lashed out, blaming the barista for not securing the lid properly. This incident set a negative tone for his entire day, affecting his interactions with colleagues and clients. Have you ever let a minor mishap ruin your entire day? How did it affect your interactions with others? Second tense situation. John's friend, Michael, noticed his frequent irritability and suggested practicing gratitude to manage his anger. Skeptical but desperate for change, John agreed to try. He started by writing down 3 things he was grateful for each day, no matter how small. Do you think acknowledging positive aspects of your life can influence your emotional responses? Third tense situation. A week into his gratitude practice, John faced a challenging situation at work. A project he had invested much time in was abruptly canceled. Initially, anger surged within him, but he paused and reflected on his recent practice. He reminded himself of the skills he had honed during the project and the supportive team he worked with. This shift in perspective helped him manage his frustration and focus on future opportunities. Can finding silver linings in adverse situations help mitigate negative emotions? Conclusion of the story. Over time, John's consistent practice of gratitude transformed his outlook on life. He became more resilient in the face of challenges and noticed a significant reduction in his anger episodes. His relationships improved, and he experienced a newfound sense of inner peace. Lesson learned. John's journey illustrates that cultivating gratitude can be a powerful tool in managing and dissipating anger. By focusing on the positive aspects of our lives, we can shift our perspectives, leading to improved emotional well-being and more harmonious relationships. Story 9. Viewing criticism as an opportunity for growth. In a vibrant city, a young designer named Linda was eager to make her mark in the industry. She poured her heart into her designs, hoping to impress her clients and establish a solid reputation. First tense situation. Linda submitted her latest design to a prominent client, confident in her work. However, she received harsh feedback pointing out several flaws and suggesting significant changes. Feeling hurt and defensive, Linda questioned her abilities and considered abandoning the project. How do you react when faced with unexpected criticism? Do you see it as a personal attack or a chance to improve? Second tense situation. After reflecting, Linda decided to approach the criticism constructively. She analyzed the feedback, identifying areas where her design could be enhanced. By implementing the suggested changes, she not only improved the project, but also learned new techniques that enriched her skill set. Can embracing feedback, even when it's harsh, lead to personal and professional growth? Third tense situation. Linda's revised design received acclaim from the client, leading to more opportunities and collaborations. She realized that viewing criticism as a learning tool rather than a setback allowed her to evolve and succeed in her career. Have you experienced a situation where accepting criticism led to unexpected success? Conclusion of the story. By shifting her perspective on criticism, Linda transformed challenges into stepping stones. This mindset not only enhanced her work, but also built resilience and confidence in her abilities. Lesson learned. Linda's experience teaches us that criticism, when viewed through the lens of growth, can be a powerful catalyst for improvement. Embracing feedback allows us to refine our skills and achieve greater heights in our endeavors. Story 10. Learning to let go. In a bustling metropolis, an entrepreneur named Mark faced a significant betrayal. His trusted business partner deceived him, leading to substantial financial losses and emotional turmoil. First tense situation. Mark was consumed by anger and resentment, replaying the betrayal in his mind and plotting revenge. This obsession affected his health, relationships, and ability to focus on new opportunities. Have you ever held onto anger so tightly that it hindered your progress? How did it affect your well-being? Second tense situation. Realizing the toll his bitterness was taking, Mark sought advice from a mentor. The mentor advised him to let go of his grudges, emphasizing that holding on to anger was like grasping a hot coal with the intent of throwing it at someone else. You are the one who gets burned. Can releasing negative emotions free up energy for more positive pursuits? Third tense situation. Mark decided to forgive his former partner, not for their sake, but for his own peace of mind. He redirected his energy into rebuilding his business, forming new partnerships, and focusing on personal growth. This shift led to renewed success and a more fulfilling life. Have you found that letting go of past hurts opened doors to new possibilities? Conclusion of the story. By choosing to let go of his anger, Mark liberated himself from the chains of the past. This decision allowed him to move forward, unburdened, and embrace new opportunities with a clear mind and open heart. Lesson learned. Mark's journey illustrates that letting go of negative emotions is essential for personal freedom and growth. Holding on to anger and resentment only harms ourselves, while releasing them paves the way for healing and new beginnings. The previous stories illustrate the principles of Stoicism, an ancient Greek philosophical school founded by Zeno of Citium in the early 3rd century BC city turn, Zero Search Zero. These principles include focusing on what you can control and accepting what you cannot. Stoicism teaches us to remain calm and rational regardless of circumstances, concentrating on what we can control and accepting what we cannot. Sati turn virtuo, living virtuously. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of living according to high moral principles, helping you not only respect yourself, but also earn the respect of others. Seti turn zero search. Zero, living in accordance with nature. The ultimate goal of life, according to Stoicism, is eudaimonia, meaning living in harmony with human nature and the world. Cite turn zero search. Please note that these stories are fictional, created to illustrate the above principles, and may not reflect actual events in real life. Lesson learned. Mark's journey illustrates that letting go of negative emotions is essential for personal freedom and growth. Holding on to anger and resentment only harms ourselves, while releasing them paves the way for healing and new beginnings. The previous stories illustrate the principles of Stoicism, an ancient Greek philosophical school founded by Zeno of Citium in the early 3rd century BC. These principles include focusing on what you can control and accepting what you cannot. Stoicism teaches us to remain calm and rational regardless of circumstances, concentrating on what we can control and accepting what we cannot. Living virtuously. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of living according to high moral principles, helping you not only respect yourself, but also earn the respect of others. Living in accordance with nature. The ultimate goal of life, according to Stoicism, is eudaimonia, meaning living in harmony with human nature and the world. Please note that these stories are fictional, created to illustrate the above principles, and may not reflect actual events in real life.